Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. And today on the channel I'm going to be talking about a brand new comedy family film now premiering on Disney Plus called Hocus Pocus 2. But before I get into my thoughts on this brand new film, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, comment below your thoughts on this film, and also turn the notification bell so you never miss any video that I post and I upload weekly. And now without further ado, let's talk about this new sequel. Three young women accidentally bring back the Sanderson sisters to modern-day Salem and must figure out how to stop the child-hungry witches from wreaking havoc on the world. The film stars Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, Sam Richardson, Doug Jones, Whitney Peake, Belisa Escobedo, and Tony Hale, and was directed by Anne Fletcher, who has directed films like Dumplin', Hot Pursuit, The Guilt Trip, The Proposal, and 27 Dresses. So going into Hocus Pocus 2, obviously I knew that this film existed and was going to be coming out this month. I didn't watch a trailer going into this film, so I was completely fresh going into this film. So here you have the Sanderson sisters. The film starts out with them being back in the 1600s. Winifred, she's supposed to get married to this guy, and she refuses to do so. So she runs away with her two other sisters into the forest, and this mother witch ends up giving her this book for her birthday and warns her about different spells. And I do like the setup of how they actually started the film off, because it is some foreshadowing to what is going to happen later in the film. So I do like the initial setup of the film. But after we get into that whole initial setup, we cut to the year 2022, and we get to meet these characters, Becca and Izzy, and they're in high school. And basically, they have this friend that wants to invite them to a party, and they don't want to attend. And we don't really get a lot of development with these two girls. I really didn't really care for either one of these characters. I don't feel like they really go through any adversity throughout this film. It's not like the original where you have Max. You know, he moves into a new place and he's trying to adjust. He's being bullied. He has his sister to really take care of, and his parents, want him to actually take her out for Halloween. And I didn't feel like there was a lot of Halloween aspects really with this film compared to the original, because I really do like in the original how they have a lot of the pumpkin smashing and you have them going out for trick-or-treating, and it really does feel like a Halloween mood. And I never felt with this film that it was really like a Halloween mood throughout the film. Compared to the original, you do have Becca and Izzy, they end up lighting the black flame candle after getting it at an actual shop that is run out of the old cottage that the Sanderson sisters actually used to stay at. So they do have that aspect and to the whole original portion of the film. But I really just didn't like how the Sanderson sisters came back. It feels like in this film, it doesn't feel like they're as evil. It just feels like a lot of silliness and a lot of jokes. The film, it feels very more so kiddish in this one compared to the first one. I felt like the first one, even though it's a kid's movie, I really do feel like they have a good amount of jokes in that one. And I also feel like it has those kind of, I don't want to say like really edgy kind of moments, but it has those moments that where it doesn't feel like a full-on kids movie, and it feels more so like a Halloween movie. I also didn't like how they kind of shoehorn the singing in this, especially with the older songs. It just didn't seem like it really fit the vibe. And really, they had an actual reason to sing in the original, and I felt like here they just kind of shoehorned the songs in. And I really do think that the singing that they do have in the original, it really was kind of creepy, especially when you have Sarah Jessica Parker in the original, where she's singing Come Little Children, and the children are walking towards them, and they think they're going to take over the world. I really do love that whole scary aspect of the film in the original, and I just don't feel like this film really ever has it. It feels like, you have the Sanderson sisters back, and they have some funny lines in here. I can't lie that I didn't laugh a few times in this film, but I just felt like even though we have these laughing moments at times, it just doesn't feel like the story is that great, to be honest. It feels like there is a loss of direction in this film. It feels like it's not really that much of a fanfare kind of film. It feels like it's trying to be something a little bit different, but it feels almost like it's just trying to appeal to the smaller kids rather than the actual generation that watched the original back 29 years ago. I did enjoy the performances from the Sanderson sisters in general. I do like Mary, how she has a little bit more comedy here. Winifred, I think she is the best out of the three. And Sarah, she is more so scaled back in this film. I think also they did a really good job with the makeup for Billy Butcherson here. I like that he is actually back in the film here, and I like his little funny joke saying that he is a good zombie in here. I think that he has a really good character, and he's one of my favorites from the actual original film, so I'm glad they actually had him here. And they really didn't miss a beat with his makeup, so they did a really good job really bringing him back as a character. But there were two characters that I really didn't care for, and that is Gilbert, who is the shop owner that sold the Black Flame candle to these two girls, and you have Mayor Trash. He is the mayor of the town, and he is also the father of the girl Cassie. That is the party that they didn't attend. And I really didn't like his character that much, and I didn't like Gilbert's character that much. I just felt like a lot of their lines are kind of cringy. I didn't really think that they were really funny throughout the film. And that's really where I really don't really like this film, and that's really more so the dialogue portion. The dialogue, it's really rough to get through. It just wasn't that enjoyable when they're on screen, and it really does, for me, bring down the film. And I just don't really find or really capture that magic when they're on screen. There's a lot of product placement in this film. You have a lot of stuff with shoes and candies and beauty products. It feels like a film that is just throwing a bunch of product placement at the audience. The whole scene when they're actually in the Walgreens and they are actually looking at the beauty products, oh my gosh, is that the most cringiest scene throughout the entire movie. It's so stupid to me how they're looking at all these beauty products and sitting there just rattling off these supposed funny jokes that we're all supposed to laugh at. You'll have jokes in here when Mary is actually trying to walk into a Walgreens and she's farting, and I'm thinking, oh boy, we got like Minions jokes in this film. And then we have the actual witches riding on Roombas and Swiffer brooms. It's just not funny to me. It's really kind of corny kind of humor. It definitely appeals to the kids there. I'm sure kids will like that kind of humor. But it just feels like it's trying too hard with the humor here. I think it's just too many jokes, and it just feels like a lot of jokes that feel kind of forced in and just feel really cringy, and just the way the delivery of some of the lines are, it just doesn't really add up to me. And even some of the CGI in this film. For 2022, the CGI is bad in this film. Really bad. I didn't like any of the CGI in this film. It didn't really feel very polished. It felt kind of lazy. It definitely feels like a Disney Plus kind of film. I can't really see that this film really could have deserved an actual theater release, because it just feels like a film that is just trying to appeal, I guess, to the younger generation. It didn't appeal to me at all, and a lot of my family actually watched this film as well, and they hated it as well. So I know I'm not the only one that really didn't care for this film. I have no desire to watch this film again. It just isn't something that's really memorable. And really, I'm not going to give it away, but the ending in this film, it just doesn't really fit for me. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. In a way, I guess it does, but at the same time, it's like these witches, they're really evil, and they've been evil since the first film. And it seems like in this film, I didn't really feel their evil presence here. It seems like it's like a Saturday Night Live type of skit throughout this film, where they're just messing around and screwing around, and they're doing all these different jokes, and it just doesn't feel like that original film. And I get they're trying to do something different here, but we all know them as these evil witches. They want all these children's spirits. You'll have a little bit of lines here where they actually, feel like they're their normal selves. But I just feel like they're really joking around a little bit too much here in the film. That's why I'm going to give a score of this film a 1.5 out of 5. It just doesn't really feel like a really complete film to me. It feels like it's just really rushed out there. And you had 29 years to actually put this film together, and you come up with this. I just thought it was total crap, and I have no reason to ever watch this film again. But thank you guys for listening to my little rant here. Thank you guys for listening to my thoughts, and I'll see you guys on my next review.